Hey guys, welcome to another episode of TR's Corner. For today's episode, what I want to talk about is a time where a good friend of mine and myself, around Halloween time, we went to a haunted house that was pretty far away from the Madison area where I live and where my friend lived. And he still lives here, but he's working in another state right now, I believe. Um, him and we really wanted to go to this haunted house, and I think it was all the way out in some prairie or some borderline outside of some prairie, something pretty far away. Not like 3 or 4 or 5 hours away kind of deal, but far enough away where it was borderline, almost too late for a school night kind of thing. Because I think I did have school the following morning. But what happened is he really wanted to take me to this haunted house that he heard about, and we went to a haunted house that was not too far away. It was actually within the Madison area. And after that was done, after we really enjoyed that, one thing I will say about that haunted house that we went to was it was kind of like this barnyard, or like this barn, like a haunted barn in a way. And when you were leaving the haunted barn, there was a guy who was kind of like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre kind of a character, and he would chase you down the hill with this chainsaw, and it actually sounded like a chainsaw and everything. So I thought that was really cool. Yeah, definitely scared. I remember running like crazy when that guy with the chainsaw was running after us. That was pretty crazy. There's also a haunted forest you got to walk through, so that was pretty cool and creepy. But after that happened, it was about, I want to say, so like I said, this was borderline some prairie. If it was just in some prairie, it probably would have been a much shorter drive. But this guy, I think he lived like almost in the middle of nowhere outside of some prairie. So like I said, it was like pretty much not even in some prairie, much farther away from it in a way. And I think it was a long drive. It was a good 2.5 to 3 hour drive, I think. So yeah, it was pretty long. And me and so like I said, it was me, my friend, and a friend of my friend. So this is a guy that we picked up, and he wanted to join us. And originally, he was actually going to go over to like this house with like all his friends from school or something, and something didn't work out. They had my guess is it turned into a drinking party. Is my guess, because something happened where he either got kicked off of the invitation or something happened where because he originally was like, hey, can I be home by a certain time so I can go to this party. Something happened where it got canceled, so he was able to go to this second haunted house with us, and we actually didn't learn about it until the drive. So it was kind of one of those things where if he did have to go to this party, we would have to turn around and then basically make up all the miles we just missed. It probably would have been longer to get to this haunted house, and it would have been just me and this one other guy. So we ended up getting there, and it was actually really hard to find. And the only reason why we knew about it too was because a friend of mine looked it up online, and somebody was talking about how this guy made this haunted house all by himself, his own funding. I think he would give the money to charity or something. But yeah, he made this whole haunted house himself, and he did it within his own home. And I guess one thing that we didn't do that he kind of got mad at us about when we got there is there's a bus that he actually wanted you to take before going into his house for this haunted house attraction. And that was one part of the thing we kind of accidentally skipped over while we were reading about it online. And I guess like while you're on the bus, certain people in costumes pop up in the chairs every once in a while and stuff. So we did miss that part. I think it would have been kind of cool if we got to see that. But at the same time, it's like, do we really want to ride all the way back to our car on this haunted bus again? So that was kind of the reason why we were a little bit happy in the same way that we didn't go on this bus. And I think this, like I said, this probably would have been a few years ago, maybe 2010, 2009 or something. I know I was out of high school by the time this happened. And this guy had like dry ice in his house, so we got kind of this misty, foggy effect. He had arrows pointing in the house on where to go, and most of it actually happened in his basement. I guess this guy must have had a pretty big basement because most of the haunted house actually happened down there, and it was pretty creepy. It's like we don't want to go down this dude's basement, and he'd have zombies chasing after us in the house, and so that was pretty creepy. And you go from room to room to room, so I thought that was kind of neat. And there was one room actually. This was probably the most unique entrance I've ever had to do to get into another room. This girl was kind of this like she was kind of like this evil chef or something like that, and we actually had to go through this small fridge in order to get to this other room. And so yeah, we had, and I'm a big guy, so I barely could fit into this small fridge to get into this other room, and it was just kind of weird because like she's like, now go into the fridge, while she was creeping us out in this kitchen thing. And there was actually a slide we had to go into, and at the bottom there was like Creature of the Black Lagoon on the sides of like this padding and things like that. And it was actually kind of for those who've seen like Brazil or like Super Mario Brothers, kind of that like urban city apocalypse kind of look. We had to go to like this fenced area that kind of reminded me of something you'd see from those films, and or like 12 Monkeys, for example, too. And we'd have to exit his home through this. And when we got out, we actually had to fill out a questionnaire, seeing how it, kind of telling the guy, if the haunted house was creepy enough, and if it wasn't creepy enough, what could he have done to make it better, and things like that. So pretty cool haunted house. Definitely one of the besides the one with the chainsaw where the guy chased after us, the haunted barn. Pretty cool haunted house within the not really the Madison area, but within the county I live in, I guess, in the Wisconsin state of Wisconsin. So that's my story today, guys. Let me know down below if you liked it or not. I do have other TR's Corner episodes coming up here pretty soon, so I hope to see you here for a future video.